Hey, this is Kenny for Kenny's Audiophile Record Reviews. Thank you very much for viewing my channel. Please like and subscribe. I'd really appreciate that. In this video, I'm going to do a comparison between 3 analog sources, 3 LPs, and 4 digital sources of the Steely Dan album, Asia. This landmark, fabulous album. I'm going to do a comparison between those sources. And I did a comparison with the LP sources already, but the intent of this video was really to assess the digital sources that I have. Sorry for the glare in the camera, but assess the digital sources of Asia that I have. That was the original intent, but I'm including the LPs just as a as a baseline and add more variety to the comparison, the LP sources. Before I get to the sources, I would like to mention the equipment I'm using real quick, because that's extremely important. I'm going to list all the equipment that I've been using in this comparison in the description below. I just want to briefly mention I'm using a Rega P8 turntable with a Apheta 3 cartridge. My SACD player is a Sony SCD-XA9000ES Super Audio CD player. My high-res player is a Sony Z1ES high-res player, and my DAC is a Luxman DA-06 DAC. Now, I do realize that those digital sources are older digital sources. I do realize that, because that's been mentioned on my channel before. That is what I have to deal with, and that will remain the same. So, but if you have different digital sources to assess these items with, these CDs, SACDs, and LPs with, please leave your comments in the comment section below. But like I said, that's what I have to deal with. I know it's older, but I got to go with what I have. So, but the sources I'm using is the LPs is this UHQR 45 RPM box set issued by Analogue Productions. The LP, another LP is a 33 1/3 issued. Oh, by the way, the UHQR was issued in 2023, I believe. This is a 2023 version of Asia, 33 1/3, and a close to original pressing version of Asia as well. Those 3 I use in my album comparison. In the digital side, I'm using a high-res file that was downloaded from HD Tracks. It's a 192 kilohertz 24-bit file. And also I'm using this, like I mentioned before, this Analogue Productions SACD, a CD that was issued in 1984. Now, one of my viewers mentioned, say, Kenny, do you have a CD that was issued in 1984? I assume he did that for a reason. And I initially told him no, but I checked my collection. I did have one issued in 1984. I'm going to show you the numbers on the booklet. I don't know if it's going to come out in the video, but I don't know if you can see those numbers on the booklet as a baseline in terms of the actual CD I'm using. If it doesn't come out, I'll try and leave it on the screen. And on the CD, this is an MCA CD, obviously, and it says MCAD-37214 printed on the CD. And the numbers inside are the same thing, MCAD-37214, and also says it has DIDX55. Those are the numbers in the booklet. And also I'm using this SHM SACD as well in the comparison. I'd like first off by saying the obvious winner, I shouldn't say obvious winner, but the winner was, and it wasn't even close, it was the UHQR. That was the winner in this comparison. It just represented the album exceptionally well. It was had a great deal of realism, depth. Again, that's a 45 RPM version of the record. It was very holographic. It's the closest thing to, I shouldn't say being there, but it's very holographic and dimensional, and the realism was incredible listening to that album on the UHQR. I give that the UHQR high praise. That's one of the best sounding UHQRs I have. It's just a fabulous performance of the record via that UHQR. Like I said, just the detail and the separation is just literally incredible. And second is the 33 1/3 version that was issued in 2023. All the accolades I gave to the UHQR goes to this one as well, but to a lesser degree. The UHQR just flat out sounds better, but this reissue in 2023 is exceptional as well. It's amazing, job they did on this 33 1/3. And for those of you who want to pay that high price for the UHQR, the 33 1/3 is a fabulous option. I'm gonna get to that original pressing or close original pressing a little bit later. And also something I should mention, that these comparisons are very highly equipment related. They really are. If you have a better SACD player, that's going to yield better results than mine. If you have a better DAC, it's going to yield better different results than mine, perhaps. I will say this, is that my SACD player has a digital output for CDs, but it does, and that can be patched through my DAC in the D to A converter. My DAC's better than D to A converter in my SACD player. The SACD section, when I'm playing SACDs, does not have that luxury. Sony and other SACD manufacturers are very proprietary in terms of allowing the output of the SACD stream to go to a outboard DAC. So the SACDs does not, or the SACDs in this comparison do not have the luxury using my Luxman DA-06 DAC. But coming in, I'm going to start with the last one first and work my way back up to some these LPs. Is the SHM SACD. This one, compared to the other sources, other analog and digital sources, was a little bit more, it wasn't bad, don't get me wrong, but it was a little more comparatively muddy and blurry and not as focused in detail as the other sources I'm going to present, and I already presented in this video. So that comes in last, but it's good, but not nearly as good as the other ones. Coming in right above, after the SHM SACD, and this source is better than that one. Matter of fact, the high-res file, this 1984 CD, and this SACD by Analogue Productions are extremely close. They really are. But coming in next is the high-res file. That high-res file is excellent, and it does a great job of presenting, like I said, the detail of this amazing recording, the separation, the fabulous drumming solos, Wayne Shorter's saxophone solo. It does a great job of representing all the nuances of this amazing album. It really, really does. Now, coming in next, and it was very close between the SACD and the 1984 CD. It is extremely close. They both do a good job. They're both a little bit on the lean side in terms of the treble. That does not bother me one bit. They both represent the bass frequencies very well. I think the SACD maybe does it maybe slightly better, but not much at all. It's very difficult to discern which one represents a bass frequency better. But if I were to choose, maybe the SACD, but barely. I mean, barely. This might be a little bit more, slightly more towards you, and in your face, but only slightly so. Whereas the 1984 CD, I think it's more detailed than the SACD, not by much. It really is, and that was the differentiator between these two. I think the original, not the original, 1984 CD was just a little bit more detailed than the SACD in terms of, you know, discerning instruments, discerning, you know, the sound stage and the detail. It was just slightly, and not overly so, represented well or better on the CD than the SACD. So if I were to rank the digital sources, knowing that the UHQR is better than all of them, I would rank the 1984 CD over the SACD, but not by much. I would give this, for example, they're so close, I would give the 1984 CD a 9, and this Analogue Productions SACD, like, I don't know, 8.9 or 8.8. This is really that close. It really is. I just like the slightly elevated and not much so detail from the 1984 CD. I will say this. I believe this Analogue Productions SACD was derived from a backup tape copy. I don't know what this 1984 CD was derived from. It's quite possible that the 1984 CD was derived from a better source. I don't know, because I don't want to know what it was derived from. Now, getting back to the original LP, which came in third in my LP comparison. Personally, I enjoy listening to the digital sources over the original LP, but just barely. They're all three are almost on the same plane, but by the slightest of margins, I preferred the 1984 CD and the SACD just by a slight margin over my close original pressing, although close original pressing is fine. They're almost like equal. But if I were listening to this album, like I said, I choose and I want the best version of it. I use the UHQR, whereas the SACD and the 1984 CD, they're extremely close in quality. But I think, excuse me, I'm sorry, the 1984 CD is just a tad more detailed in terms of discerning, you know, some of the nuances of the instruments, the timbre and all the detail that comes along with the instruments and the instrumentation, and the separation and sound stage. Just slightly better on the 1984 CD, but not overly so. I think this is a fabulous SACD by Analogue Productions, by the way. But that's my opinion on all the ones I have. They're all very good, but the standouts obviously are the UHQR, the 2023 reissue LP on 33 1/3, and the high-res file, the SACD, and the 1984 CD, with the winner in the digital sources, but barely. And so almost like 1A and 1B, the 1984 CD. But the Analogue Productions SACD is great. I recommend this as well. Those are my opinions. Please leave your comments in the comment section below, and you might have a better SACD player, a better DAC, and maybe the fact that you might have a better SACD player might elevate the performance of the SACD player above the performance of the SACD over the CD. In other words, it's probably equipment dependent, equipment related. If you have a better SACD player, the SACD might outperform the CD on a better SACD player. Just some thoughts. But please leave your comments in the comment section below. Thank you very much for viewing my video. Please like and subscribe. God bless, strong love. Keep the peace worldwide.